I just kind of wanted to talk about this run a little bit because I have a few thoughts on it. We're starting. It's a ruin portal. I was just playing private rooms to practice, and I just rolled this ruin portal, and it was a pretty good scene. Pretty standard overworld here. Build out the portal and just get wood, get food, and then enter. Really. If it was a better ruin portal, you could skip getting food and just enter with golden carrots, but there was none of those here. A little bit sloppy on the mechanics and the crafting, and very sloppy on the getting food because I just miss a ton of crits here, but it's okay. I think I played this run pretty well. It's pretty clean for the most part. There is one major mistake that ends up costing the sub 10. My axe breaks here when I miss the crit, but I punch the pig to get the food anyway. So I have 9 pork, which is really good food for a run. And so now we're entering at 115, which is pretty good. I'm just going to eat right from Bastion, see the spike off that way. Yeah, the run's generally pretty standard, to be honest. Anyway, at this point I can tell it's housing and I start running over to do a top-down route, but I decide to double back and look for the fortress. And I see it up there, off to the right, and so now I head back over to the housing to start top-down. Fortunately, I got some gold armor from the ruin portal chest, so I was able to loot these top chests without any trouble. I accidentally build one too high here and have to break this wood, but it's okay. And I get the last iron that I need to make a pickaxe because I didn't get one of those from the portal. And I also make a wooden axe so I can break the crafting table a little bit faster. And so now we just break the chest for your standard top-down route. There's a few different places you can toggle hard mode in top-down. You can toggle it up here or down in the trading hole. At this point, my intention was to toggle hard in the trading hole, but I never actually did that. Because I guess I just forgot or something. It doesn't matter too much. It loses you like 1 or 2 pigs, but it's definitely an optimization I could have made. At this point, I'm looking in my inventory for gravel to gravel the pigs. I don't get it, so I can't elevate my trades yet. So I get a ludicrous amount of obsidian from this chest, and I just kind of do some inventory management, split my string, my pearls, my bricks, and just toss out all the junk into the chests. And here I finally get some gravel so I can elevate my trades. And now it's basically just inventory management. I don't need to pyrite for the forest since I know where it is. And so now is the time to pre-craft my stuff. I make a little bit of a mishap here. I forget to pre-craft my axe. And then I realize that. And so I go back and I do that. Little rough there, but it's chill because my piglins were still trading. They just finished. So I get my stuff, throw out like 2 things, and then just leave. I can sort my inventory in the fort. I intend to go out the front of the bastion here, but I realize it's a lot more built in than I thought. So I have to kind of chuck a pearl this way and just like hope that I land on some terrain. Aside from that, pretty linear fort nav, and we're going to be entering sub 5. There's a few small mistakes in the fort. A little bit of hesitation on these skeletons. At this point I can see the spawner over past the basalt. And I try to soul skate twice and I fail it both times, so I just give up. It's not really a big deal, it's just minor. And now we're on to the blaze split. I get my blaze bed off as early as I can. I've been putting a lot of practice into blaze, like, 4 splits in endgames, and I think it paid off relatively well here. At this point, I've got my platform about as built up as I want. I should be breaking that soul sand over there to get more spawns, but it's fine. We got 3 rods, and here is when I decide to do my inventory management from earlier. And I think I do this relatively quickly. I should be killing these blazes as soon as possible instead of doing my overlaps. And I do stop my overlaps to go kill them. And I didn't get out on that last cycle, but another, I got a 10-second spawn cycle, and it spawned 2 more blazes, so now I have 7 rods, which is put me in a really good position. And I'm ready to blind at about 6:30. Pausing to pull up my calc because I didn't have it open for whatever reason. And here, I think I get caved, and I almost start digging up, but I see the opening over here. And so I don't try to dig up there, that would have been bad. Pretty standard eye measuring split. Pretty clean, I lined up the crosshair well. +1. And it's 1500 away. I almost go back for that eye, but then I remember I have 7 rods, I don't need to. So I'm just out. 720 and I'm on my way to the stronghold. And the terrain is perfect. Completely open nether waste. I throw a bad pearl here and I hit that terrain, but I'm able to save it obviously. And then it's just across this small lava gap and I'm basically on cords. Forward 232, and here's cords. This portal build is messy because I was nervous. I just fully missed placing a block up there. And we're in stronghold at 804. And the preempt is a little rough, but eventually I do get that spike right there, which I like. But I end up going right here because I saw a library, and that ends up being the wrong play. And I rescan for a spike, and there's just nothing, so I decide to go back. I think about going down that hallway there, which would be the correct play, but I decide to rescan from starter, and I see a 44%, which could be a pure spike. And I go around these hallways, I see light here, I'm thinking this looks good, and it's a library, so I turn around. And so then at this point I just decide to head back through this hidden, it's probably over here somewhere, and I head to the left past this library after rescanning again. And I just kind of send a couple doorways, come across this 5-way, and here I go to rescan, and I just see the portal room. So I'm just in 905. If I had come down here earlier, then that would have saved the sub 10. But I decide to rip the setup list 0 just to save as much time as possible. The 0 is front 1 and 8 on like 97 or something, I'm not sure. The setup is a little messy just because Minecraft, and then I have a little trouble actually stacking up to 91 for my setup. But we get there. And I forgot to pre-craft a bow in the fort, so I don't have a bow to do +1s, but it's okay. I have like 8 beds.